Hey guys, it's February 27th now, 2015. It's 10:03 a.m. We were on the road again, and I'm just gonna pick up where I left off in part one. I was talking about how when you're born, your name gets put out in the paper, blah blah blah. You have 90 days to claim ownership of this name, this cargo, before it becomes state property. So there you go. I mean, how many people do you know, or did your own mother take that step to claim that cargo when it was abandoned at the facility? When you're born and your placenta comes out with you, they take the placenta. They don't just throw it away. They keep that placenta, because in that placenta is the genetic makeup that is you. It's your DNA. It's the only proof that you are who you are. So when they create a social security number for you, and they create a fictional corporation in your name, they need that DNA, because that DNA is the only thing that proves your allocation, that proves your alignment with that corporation. Other than that, there's no proof. Anything else is hearsay. Anything is hearsay. So, birth certificate. Your mother signs it, binds you into an agreement, putting you under admiralty law, making you under corporate statutes. You have to fall under corporate statutes of goods and commerce. You became goods. You know the term human resources. You become a resource, a resource, something to use, something to gain from. You're no longer a human being. You no longer have rights under the Constitution. The day that you got a social security number and were put into their system, you lowered yourself to that of a corporation. You're no longer a human being. Oh, wow, that was a lot of state cops.
Wow, that's like the sixth one I've seen in the past 5 minutes.
There you go. There's the policy enforcers. A lot of the time, cops don't even know the law. They don't even know the difference between admiralty law and common law in its jurisdiction here in the U.S. So when you become that social security number, you become a federal employee. You're no longer a human being. You're a corporation doing business under a corporation with other corporations, fictional characters and such. So then comes all the statutes that go with it that you think you have to follow, that you think apply to you, but they only apply to you because you signed your rights away. You gave your consent. You waived your rights under the Constitution. By law, that's what a waiver is. A waiver is a signing off of your rights. When you were born in this world, you were born with rights that they weren't given to you. They weren't privileges that a government said, okay, you're allowed to do this. No, they're inalienable rights under the Constitution, given to you, endowed to you by the Creator, God. Everyone has the right to be free in the pursuit of happiness, as long as they're not infringing on the rights of others or causing harm to others or their property. Those are the only two things that are a crime under the Constitution. Only two things. Oh, and fraudulent documents. Those are the only things that are really against the law. You don't have to have an ID to identify yourself. You're just, by doing that, you're identifying yourself as not a human being, as a person, a corporation. You don't need a birth certificate registered with the government, making you a piece of cargo. That's why there's a difference between the live certificate of birth, which has your real name on it, with only the first letter capitalized of each name, and the birth certificate, which is identical to birth certificates done under law of the sea when a ship goes into a dock to release its cargo, to unload and to load back up and head home with whatever goods or commerce is coming back in the opposite flow of directions. So think about it this way. It's all metaphorical, it's all symbolic. And you're looking at this picture that I've got up right now, it's telling you, it's showing you They're showing you right in your face that they're putting you under Admiralty law. That doesn't apply to you. It only applies to the sea. Goods and commerce being shipped.
That cop must have sped like 90 miles per hour to get to us after the whole time.
So, you see, we got all these terms in law: ambassadorship, authorship, battleship, censorship, championship. All these ships, internship, sportsmanship. It's all ships because they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you because you don't see what's right in front of your face. You've heard all these terms before. Have you ever gone under financially? Have you ever been drowned in debt? Money is known as currency, like a current, a flow of water. Your account has been frozen. Water freezes. Bar examination, which when you step into court, always look at the flag. That's when you know what kind of jurisdiction that court is under. If the flag is just the U.S. flag, that's a common law court, and you have your constitutional rights. If the flag is the U.S. flag with the gold trim around it, that stands for Admiralty law. That's the law of the sea. You don't want to be under that jurisdiction. You do not want to be, because you don't have human rights under that jurisdiction. When you step past the bar, you're literally stepping into a contract. You're stepping into an agreement when you step past the bar in that Admiralty law court. It's the same thing as when a captain a captain of a ship steps through his bar to be the commander of the ship. He's the judge. He's the judge, jury, and executioner of the ship. So, do you have your head above water? Have you ever been a victim of liquidation? The law of the sea. This is what this is. This is the law of the sea. So now that we got all that out of the way, and you can see the subliminal, symbolic applications that are going on when it comes to law, you can see how we've been deceived, we've been tricked. If you don't know legalese, which is the language of law, it's not English. It's a completely separate, identical language. It's called legalese.
They have their own dictionary.
They have their own dictionary called Black's Law Dictionary. I recommend you get it. I have a copy of it on my computer, which is how I know all this stuff.
Because I read.
Right, because we read books. Get out of your house, man. Go to a library. Get off the couch and out from in front of the TV, because the television isn't going to tell you any of this. School isn't going to tell you any of this, because they don't want you to be educated. They want you to believe the farce of a reality that's being projected through the media and through entertainment.
And this isn't talking down on anybody. We want people to have their full rights. We want people to see that they're human beings and not some kind of piece of property that you can just exchange hands with.
Right, we love you. This is your brother and sister talking to you right now. We love people. We love everybody. Okay? We're not trying to make you feel stupid or call you stupid for not knowing any of this, because you're not supposed to know. You weren't meant to know. I heard a really great analogy from this man on YouTube. His account name is Bar None, with a couple numbers. I forget what they are, but it's not important. Anyway, the analogy he used was when you have adoptive parents. Say your parents gave you up when you were born for adoption, and you grew up from 0 to 18 never knowing that you were adopted. You thought that the woman and man that raised you your whole life were your biological parents. So from 0 to 18, how much time did you spend looking for your true biological parents? None. You didn't spend any time, because you didn't even know they existed. You didn't know that they were real people. You didn't know that you were adopted. You thought that you came out of that woman's vagina. So there's a reason that people don't know this stuff, because people don't know what to look for. School isn't going to teach you about this. They want to indoctrinate you into their system. They don't want to teach you how to get out of it and avoid it. The media isn't going to tell you this, because they want you to stay asleep. They want you to be afraid of terrorism. Well, I'll tell you who the real terrorists are. The real terrorists are the Federal Reserve. The real terrorists are the banksters in England who have bought out all these countries, who have forced them into wars that they didn't want to be a part of. They funded both sides of the wars. The Rothschilds, who gave America this false money, funded Hitler. Funded Hitler. The man who almost wiped an entire race of people off the planet.
Look it up.
Look it up. They funded both sides, man. Please, people, please, brothers and sisters, do some research. We have to wake up before it's too late. So he funded both sides of the war. He funded the Rothschild. They funded America and created their Federal Reserve System, a centralized bank. And they funded the rise of Hitler's regime, the Third Reich, and brought him into chancellorship. So knowing all this, World War II was created for one reason and one reason only: to create the League of Nations, to create the United Nations, the first step at a centralization of power, a global government, a one world government. You know, New World Order, says it right on the back of your dollar bill in Latin. It's not a joke, dude. It's not a joke. So
139, I'm pulling over.
So just think about this, please. Do some research. Look this stuff up. I'm not lying to you people. You can't make this stuff up. I'm not doing this to make anyone feel stupid. I'm doing this because I want to help you. We want to help you. We want to help you learn what's really going on, why your life is the way it is. Everyone wakes up in the morning and wonders why. Why is my life so screwed up? Why am I in so much debt? Why am I part of something that I didn't agree to? Because you were tricked into it. You were frauded into it. Our great-great-great-grandparents, when they first got spoon-fed the propaganda of the Social Security Act, they didn't know, they didn't foresee any of this. They didn't know the difference between common law and admiralty law, because they were already propagandized to go fight a war in a foreign country. You have to take the pieces all around and put them together. They're not just going to form the picture for you. They don't want you to see it. They want you to be slaves to their system until you die, until you're dead, until you wasted your entire life chasing a dollar that didn't mean anything. You know, America existed before the Europeans conquered it. And you know who lived here? Americans lived here. Not Indians. Indians come from India! Columbus knew that this place wasn't India. He's not an idiot.
Baby, is there anything coming?
No, you're good.
Thank you.
Columbus wasn't a retard. You know, they knew America existed, and they knew that there was people there who weren't systematically enslaved, who weren't part of a aristocracy, whatever you want to call it. So they came over to the land of America that already existed, where people were already inhabiting it and living in harmony with the land and with each other, within each other. And then all of a sudden, these white Europeans come around, conquer this country, and start to set up an illegal system to enslave everybody who will ever live on that soil. Our so-called forefathers who fought against the British Empire to prevent this, we've slipped right back into it. The ink wasn't even dry on the Constitution before Mr. William Hamilton was already putting in his 2 cents about how we should centralize power, we should create a debt-based system. The ink wasn't even dry on the Constitution yet before they started changing policies and adding amendments. These people know what they're doing, and they will stop at nothing to control you, your families, and the families to come. And I'm warning you right now. This is my warning to you. This is your red pill. This is your Matrix situation. I'm Morpheus, and I'm offering you, Neo, to either take the blue pill. You can go back to sleep, wake up in your bed, and pretend nothing ever happened. You can believe whatever you want, or you could take the red pill and see the truth. But that's all you're gonna see. And that's all I promise you is the truth, nothing more, nothing less.
I'm sorry, do you want anything in the store?
No, I don't need anything in the store.
Okay.
So what is it? Are you going to take the red pill or are you going to take the blue pill? It's your choice. But I warn you this, If you take that blue pill, it doesn't mean that you're excused from the consequences of the future of being a piece of cargo in an ownership claim.